coach from the University of California, Berkeley, and he's graciously come to join us tonight to speak about rowing and how Olympic sports are being affected at the college level. Thank you very much.
I'll talk a little bit about how Olympic sports are being kept, but you know, being from Berkeley, maybe we need to import some of our tree sitters and hunger strikers and everyone else that come and rally around what's going on here, because yeah, there are people in Berkeley, they're just itching for a cause to protest for. So I'm Dave O'Neill, I'm the women's coach at Cal, Berkeley, and I started rowing at a club program at Boston College. I learned to row, you know, in college. So like I'm sure like many of the people on the women's rowing team here. And but the stuff that's happening at Cal, it's very similar to what's going on here. Okay, in terms of budget cuts, layoffs within the athletic department, salary reductions. You know, our sports are, you know, reductions within our sports, and there is talk of, you know, maybe we should turn the cameras off. I should be. Don't quote me on, you know, some of the stuff shouldn't end up in the papers. But there is talk of sports being cut too. And that's a huge, huge concern amongst all of the Olympic sport coaches, certainly. And, you know, and if someone asked me a couple years ago, it's like, oh, or even this year, like, oh, are you concerned about women's rowing being cut? I'm like, no way. No way. Like, we've won a couple national championships, you know, a bunch of good kids on the team. You know, we're fiscally responsible, they're academically, they're kicking ass, and we're probably one of the most successful women's sports on campus and probably the largest women's sport on campus. I'm like, we're not going to get cut. Like, that description probably is the same as UC Davis women's rowing program. You know, a couple national championships, you know, doing a great job. So now I'm like, whoa, hold on. You know, if it happens at Davis and it happened at Irvine, you know, it could happen at Cal. And I know once the ball starts rolling, you know, that's what's happening with men's wrestling. You know, in men's wrestling, it could be a dying sport across the country because, well, one program starts to do it and another program starts to do it. It's like, well, we don't have anyone to compete against. Well, maybe we should cut our program too. And, you know, there's certainly a misnomer across, you know, about women's rowing, about crew, that it's an East Coast sport. You know, and trying to figure out how athletic directors think. Maybe the athletic directors were thinking like, well, rowing is an East Coast sport. Let's just get rid of rowing. You know, a couple of years ago, California had the most Division I rowing programs of any state in the country. You know, it's not an East Coast sport. It's a West Coast sport. You know, and in terms of junior rowing, it has the healthiest, strongest junior rowing across the country. And one of the reasons why it has such good junior rowing is because there's such good collegiate rowing. You know, if you build it, they'll come. You know, because parents see, hey, how can I get my daughter into college? You know, what opportunities can rowing open for her? What doors can open for her? And it's like, hey, let's start a junior rowing program. And even just, you know, with River City up here in Davis, and there's, you know, I can't even tell you how many there are in California, but there's more and more that keep popping up. Whether it's there's maybe 2 in Lake Natoma now, and then 2 in Stockton, and so many down in the Bay Area, and then all one down in Southern California, because parents see what can happen if my daughter starts rowing. You know, cut the rowing programs, those junior rowing programs start getting cut, and kids start, you know, spending their days watching TV. You know. And so I think the impact in terms of when you start cutting sports, it becomes significant, you know. And one of the things that's important, you know, and I learned to row at a club program. And I kind of thought like, oh man, we were working just as hard as those varsity athletes. You know, we worked just as hard. I had no idea how hard those varsity athletes were. Talking with the Virginia coach, this gentleman, Kevin Sauer, a couple of years ago, and Virginia women's rowing program, they were a club team, and they went varsity in 1997. Women's rowing was one of the fastest growing percentage-wise, fastest growing sports in the country a few years ago. And so Virginia went varsity in 1997. They had a really good club team, and then they went varsity. And a lot of the same kids, and they were doing the same workouts that they were doing. And all of a sudden, all these kids were getting these rib injuries, these stress fractures. They were getting hurt. They were doing the same workouts and Kevin, they were like 3 times as many injuries than they had before. And Kevin Sauer, the coach, couldn't figure out why. Like, what's going on? Like, why we're doing the same workouts, same kids, what's happening? And the kids, the captain seems like, Kevin, you don't understand. We're a varsity team now. Like, we're varsity. Like this means something more. And they were pulling and trying harder. And pulling harder, and they were getting hurt. And he was like, cool, like right on. So being associated with the athletic department makes a difference. Makes a difference. And another example of that, rugby. Best rugby team in the country, it's a Cal. It's a Cal. There's very few, rugby teams in the country that are associated with the athletic department. One of the very few, it might be the only one, is a Cal. And the Cal rugby team, they don't have a lot of fun. They don't get a lot of funding from the university. They don't get many, in terms of tiering, and I can talk a little bit about tiering. Even though we don't call it tiering at Cal. But they don't have a whole lot of stuff. But the thing that they have is they're associated with the athletic department. And those rugby players, they walk around campus with a sense of pride, and it's like a pro team. Like they have real coaches, and the coaches do a great job. But I fully believe because they're part of the athletic department, that's an advantage. Just in terms of mentality and in terms of what they're doing, because it's like, yes, we are representing Cal. And we're not trying to just beg and borrow and steal and try to make things happen. Even though they are still trying to beg, borrow, and steal, but they're like, well, that's just how we do it at Cal Rugby. So being a varsity sport makes a difference. And in terms of the tiering, we don't have tiering per se at Cal, but we all understand that some sports get things that other sports don't get. Like women's crew, we don't get the same thing that the football team gets. And I'm well aware of that, and nor do I even want that to happen. Like we know that the football team is very important in terms of financially for the athletic department. But we realize, and so women's crew, there's certain funding that we might get that some other sport might get, and some things, but that's just how life goes. And I think it's, so for all of these sports before they get cut, it's like, yes, let's look at the tiering issue and what needs to happen in order to make things work. And like I was saying, there's a real, oh man, people leave it, am I not bad? Even within Cal, and a lot of the coaches were really concerned in terms of what's going on, and I highly encourage all the coaches, athletes, talk to your friends who are student athletes on other teams, and like, hey, what can we do to make all of this work? Because there's no better way to bring people together for a common goal when there's a common sacrifice. When there's a common sacrifice, we're all in it together, and I guarantee you, if all sports come together at UC Davis and we're going to, we'll all take a little bit of a hit, that could be a recruiting advantage. Okay? It's like, I want to go somewhere where we're part of this family and we're all able to take a little bit of a hit to make this work. Okay? And that's something that's starting to happen a little bit within the Cal Athletic Department. Coaches talking to coaches, and what can we do to make this work for our own survival? Because I was thinking like the whole amputee analogy. I was totally thinking about that. Like, once it gets cut, it's not going to go back. But it's like, let's just keep it going, and then better physical times come. Like, yes, we can get back to a certain level later on. Okay, so happy to be here. Thanks for asking me to be here. Any questions? I guess.
Because you're at Cal and you're going through the same stuff. I'm just wondering what's happened in the